Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Eddie Sutton Show. I'm Robbie Robertson, along with Oklahoma State head basketball coach Eddie Sutton. Dean Blevins is on assignment this week. He'll be back next week. And, Coach, congratulations. What a week it was. A 17-point victory over Iowa State at home, and then you go on the road and you win one out in Colorado by 24 points. Great week.
It was a super week, Robbie. The Iowa State game last Saturday afternoon was the best performance we've had this year. We just excelled in all areas of the game, and Iowa State's a very good basketball team. They had beaten us earlier in Ames, Iowa, but if we could play like that, we would win a lot of ball games. And in athletics, confidence and momentum are so important, and we needed a good decisive win over a good ball club, and I really felt like we'd had 5 excellent practices prior to the Iowa State game because we didn't have a midweek contest. So we won that ball game, and then we hadn't won a road game in conference play. And if you're going to win one, it would seem to me the University of Colorado might be one of the easiest places to win right now because they've been struggling some. We went out there and in the first half didn't play that well, but we turned up the burner in the second half defensively and ended up beating them 85-61, which is the biggest point margin, I guess, that Oklahoma State has ever had over a Big 8 member on the road.
That burner was full speed out there at Colorado. We'll get to that in just a minute. But let's start with the Iowa State game. Last Saturday, the Cowboys at home to take on Iowa State, and just all aspects of the game, Coach. Really a very nice performance.
Well, both teams started out shooting the ball extremely well. The first 13 shots that were put up, they hit 7 in a row, and we hit 6 in a row. I thought neither team was going to miss, and finally they did. But overall, both teams shot over 50% for the game. There's Scott Sutton hitting a field goal. This is about midway through the first half. There's Vaughn Bennett.
Like to get that ball down low to Big Country and Vaughn Bennett.
Well, Country just had a sensational game. He had 28 points and 12 rebounds to lead our ball club. But we had some other people that played well. Milt Brown had one of his best games of the year. He had 11 points. Randy Rutherford continues to get better every ball game. He had 17, and Brooks Thompson had 19 points. He had 8 assists and only 2 turnovers. And in the Colorado game, he had 12 assists. So Brooks has really made a lot of progress in being able to be the quarterback or the point guard that we need.
This is right before half.
Great hustle play right there by Milt Brown. He rebounds the ball, throws it back to Randy Rutherford, and just as the ball leaves his hands, he hits a 3, and that's a big play when somebody hits a 3 against you on the road like we did there against Iowa State. That's a demoralizing play, and we go in at halftime 47-36.
Now we're into second half, and Brooks Thompson hits the tray.
Brooks and Randy have really shot the ball well this week from the perimeter in both ball games, and when you have that outside shooting, then you're able to get the ball into Fred Burley and to Vaughn Bennett and to Country. So you got to have good balance, outside shooting, inside play. What's this play? Now we're going to take another look at this later. Country normally doesn't get that most of it. Now he was pumped.
He's excited about this game here now.
They pressed us, and we did an excellent job breaking the press. That's what you have to do. You have to attack. When somebody spreads your defense 94 feet, then don't be content just to get the ball across the mid-court line. Attack the basket. Good hustle play here. Nice pass. In this ball game, we only turned it over 12 times. We've been averaging about 19, so that was encouraging.
Brooks again with the three-pointer.
We were 7 out of 13 from three-point land. We shot 61% from the field. Out-rebounded them decisively. Beat them 31-22, and that was a big key.
You know, we had talked early on, Coach, about this being a ball club that has talented athletes but just haven't played together. This ball game and the Colorado game, which we'll talk about in a minute, is the ball club coming together now? I mean, getting to know each other better?
Robbie, as I mentioned earlier, I really believe confidence plays such a major part of athletics. It does in most things that we do. But our team is playing with a lot more confidence. They're shooting the ball with more confidence. And when you have a young, inexperienced team like we have, they're going to get better. I've said this all along, and we are playing much better right now than we did, say, 2 or 3 weeks ago. We need to, because there aren't any easy teams left on the schedule. Every team in the Big 8, in my opinion, is a good one. Colorado, as I said, is struggling a little bit right now, but Kansas is the best team, and I think everyone recognizes that. And that doesn't mean that someone won't beat them, but they're not going to lose very many games if they keep everyone healthy. But from the second-place team all the way down to the 8th-place team, very little difference, and it just depends on how well you play that particular day, if you're going to win or you're going to get beat.
Well, the Cowboys put together a nice performance this past Wednesday night. Let's head west now to Boulder, Colorado, and the Coors Events Center, and they were making reference to the altitude in the broadcast.
Well, that's why I was grinning, because they really let you know that you're up above a mile in altitude, thinking that psychologically that is going to affect you. But it does affect you physically, and we tried to substitute early. Tim Jankovic, who coached at Colorado State, told me that if you substitute early and keep people in there, that he felt like teams that came in there and played them, that helped him. And we did this. We played a lot of people, and great follow shot there by Reeves on a missed shot by Thompson. It's Vaughn Bennett. Oh, no, that's Fred Burley. Fred had a sensational game. Best game since he came to Oklahoma State. Had 24 points and pulled down 7 rebounds.
Now we're into the second half, and this was really a different ball game, Coach. In the
well, we were much
half.
more aggressive. I told the guys at halftime I felt like that maybe we hadn't been aggressive. Our defense hadn't forced very many turnovers. In the second half, we turned up the burners, and anytime your defense can force turnovers like that, then normally at the other end of the floor you're going to get some easy baskets, which we did. Good defensive steal by Brooks. I mentioned he had 12 assists in this game. Good passing.
And the Cowboys end up winning it going away, win by 24 out on the road. Brooks Thompson, I know it's been somewhat of a difficult transition for him, being really a 2 guard, but he seems to have more of that confidence that you've talked about, Coach.
Well, it's difficult when you take a player like Brooks, who for most of his life was a player in high school, and then when he played at Texas A&M, he was an off guard. Then all of a sudden you put him in a position where he's got to go out there and make good decisions with the basketball, and that just takes time. But I'm very proud of Brooks. I really believe he's made remarkable progress, and if he continues to play like he's has been playing recently, then we got a chance to be very good, and I think that's a big key for us.
Well, it was a big week for Oklahoma State as they win a pair. You stay with us. We'll be right back. The Eddie Sutton Show continues right after this. Anytime you get a reverse slam done with authority and emotion, you've got a play of the week.
That has to be the play of the week, and like I said, we saw this earlier. Look at that enthusiasm on Bryant Reeves' face there. He has gotten so much quicker and much more agile, and I think a lot of that has to go to Leroy Youst, our strength coach, but also a lot of hard work on Country's part. He's averaging almost 20 points a game and almost 10 rebounds a game, and that's just sensational stats for someone just to be a sophomore playing at the level we're playing in the Big 8.
And still gets double-teamed and at times triple-teamed. You can really see how the opposing team plays that young man because of his abilities.
Well, they do double up on him, but he's got those great hands, and he's getting much better at being able to pass the ball to the open person when he is double-teamed.
The Cowboys are shooting the ball real well this year. That does not necessarily apply to the rest of the nation. We'll talk about that right after we take this short break from Southwest Airlines. This week on Coach's Corner, we thought we'd give Coach Sutton an opportunity to talk about shooting the basketball. Coach, there have been some reports out, I think one of them was generated by the NCAA, that percentages of shooting have really fallen off this year, and there seem to be a few reasons for that, or alleged reasons. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think there are some legitimate reasons, and I think the stat that you're talking about is the free throw percentage nationwide. It's down 2% over what it was, I guess, last year, and it's really the lowest, I understand, since 1958. And the reason that I believe that shooting's not as good is that young men don't have as much time to go out and shoot the basketball. Shooting is an art. It's something that one has to do many, many hours, and with the limitation that the NCAA has put on, it started a year ago where you can only practice 20 hours a week, 3 hours a day. all of a sudden coaches are spending more time working on offense, on defense, and they don't allow the players as much time to shoot free throws in practice or just even regular field goal shooting. And we're taking a look here at some misses of open shots in different games that we played in. The other thing, the 2 weeks that we lost in preseason this year, when basketball practice started October 15th, that gave us 2 more weeks. This year, it started November 1. So not as much time to shoot, and as a result, I don't think that the shooting percentages are as good. You know, somebody asked me the other day, well, do you think guys shoot the ball as well today as they did 20 years ago, 25 years ago? I think there are players that shoot the ball better, but when you take percentages, if you took 100,000 players, I'm not sure that we do shoot the ball any better today than we used to, because there was a time when young men grew up on a farm or they'd go shoot hoops on their own. Now, and I know because I know what our players do, instead of going over and working by themselves, they want to go over and play. And as I said before, shooting is an art. It's something that once you groove your shot and you shoot it the same way every time, then it's a matter of practice.
All right, very interesting. So for you young people, get out there and practice and get that stroke down. The Eddie Sutton Show continues right after this. Anytime you win a ball game, it's a big victory. We thought the victory this past Wednesday night was worth another look because it was OSU's first conference victory on the road, and it came in the mountains of Colorado.
There's a spirit only found inside a winner, in those who never lose the will to try, a strength we all can share if we only realize you gotta have the heart to climb the mountain if you want to see the other side. It's a long, hard road, and sometimes you're bound to fall, but you can't give up on your dream. You might get knocked down, but if you give your all, you're a winner every time you play the game. And when the journey's over, you can say with pride, you gotta have the heart to climb the mountain if you want to see the other side. There's a feeling when we're all here together, there are no words on earth that can describe. It will serve as a reminder until the end of time. You gotta have the heart to climb the mountain if you want to see the other side. But it's a long, hard road, and sometimes you're bound to fall, but you can't give up on your dream. You might get knocked down, but if you give your all, you're a winner every time you play the game. And when the journey's over, you can say with pride, you gotta have the heart to climb the mountain if you want to see the other side. You gotta have the heart to climb the mountain if you want to see the other side.
Oh, you climbed that mountain in Colorado, Coach.
That's a great piece. I think everybody enjoyed that. You know, Brooks Thompson is from the Denver area,
right,
and he had a lot of his high school classmates. His mother was there, so it was a big night for him. He had 12 assists, and we haven't had that many players get that many assists in one ball game. He only had 2 turnovers. for the week, he had 20 assists, 8 against Iowa State, 12 against the Buffaloes, and only 4 turnovers. And that's the kind of play we need out of him. Plus, he scored in double figures in both games.
He's a very good player, and I love to see him coming up court with that head up looking for the open man. Let's take a look at the schedule as what's coming up for the Cowboys. Oh, my. Saturday, Bedlam basketball in Stillwater, and then Colorado will be at Iowa State. We'll talk more about Oklahoma here in just a minute. And then on Sunday, Kansas plays at Nebraska. And then on Monday, Kansas State will be at Missouri, and then we'll round out the schedule with next Wednesday, Oklahoma State at Kansas. That'll be another pay-per-view event, so we urge you to sign up for that. Iowa State will be at Kansas State, and Missouri will play at Oklahoma. The Cowboys 3-3 in conference play. Is that kind of where you thought you'd be at this point, Coach, or how do you look at that?
Well, the one game we always look back at, perhaps we should have won, was Kansas State, but you can't look back. I mean, that was a game that we probably had won. If you played it 20 times, you're going to win it 19 times, but we didn't win it. And so we've really displayed some progress, some character, because that game took a lot out of us. We went to Iowa State. You probably not expected to win that game. We did come back, beat Iowa State, and went to Colorado. We're 3-3, and that probably is not where you'd like to be, but we're happy to be there, and we're 12-4 overall. Right. And now we just got to play these games one at a time, and we got a big one Saturday afternoon. Anytime the Sooners and the Cowboys hook up, I don't care what sport it is, it's going to be a terrific ball game, and I would hope that our student body and all of our fans are going to be there rocking 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, because we're going to need them to play the part of the sixth man.
Rock and roll in the GI. Can't miss that, I guarantee you. Stay with us. The Eddie Sutton Show continues right after this. Next up for Oklahoma State, the Oklahoma Sooners, Saturday afternoon, Gallagher-Iba, run, shoot, and holler.
Well, it will be a real exciting affair. It always is. We've had some great games with the University of Oklahoma since I returned here to Oklahoma State, and I can remember as a player they were always special games, and this one is no different. I think we're pretty even. Just depends on who's going to play well. Oklahoma presents problems in that their starting team, and you don't see this happen very often, all 5 of their starters average from 14 to 17 points a game. All 5 of those guys somewhere this season have scored a season high of 26 to 40. They're 14-6. They're 2-3 in conference play. I think it's one of the best teams that Billy's had for a while. They've probably dropped a couple of tough ones that maybe they could have won. They got beat the other night at Kansas State when they missed a 1-and-1, and then Bean hit 2 free throws with 3 seconds to go to win that ball game. They lost an overtime loss at Iowa State. So a very good basketball team. I think one of the big keys in the ball game will be how well we defend, because every one of their players are capable of hitting you for big numbers. The biggest surprise, I think, probably on their ball club is Van. He's really had a great season, had 40 against Colorado the other night. We've got to play good, solid defense, and we've got to minimize those turnovers. We know that Oklahoma's going to come after us hard with their full-court press, but emotionally, I know both ball clubs, they won't leave anything left on the court. And
it'll be nice to have a full house there to act as the 6th man for Oklahoma State. Coach, congratulations on a great week. Good luck to you on Saturday. Thanks for your time. Dean will be back next week for Eddie Sutton and Oklahoma State University. I'm Robbie Robertson. Goodbye, everybody.